Hey guys, welcome back, Tea Garden. Tonight we're going to do another Star Magic constellation. So let me show you the book I've been using. So I use Star Magic by Sandra Kynes. And again, I read this over a vacation some years back and it really resonated with me. And I really enjoy revisiting this time again. So if you're interested in stars or constellations and using that in your practice, I highly recommend this book. So that's that, and let's continue. All right. So tonight, the constellation we're going to talk about is Draco, the dragon. And so let me get out my materials to fiddle with while we do this. All right. So this is a particularly large constellation, so I'm going to try and get as much of this cloth up as possible. Which might not be that much, so bear with me. Get comfy. Okay, there we go. All right, we do our best here. All right, next, the quartzes. There we go. Now, we might not have as much crystals to use. This constellation is actually quite large, so I might run out of crystals, but thankfully we have an entire drawer of quartz to help us out. So if I need it, it's there. All right. So the Draco constellation is another circumpolar constellation, so it does not go below the horizon, which is pretty cool. So you will see Draco in the northern hemisphere, at least, nearly all the time. Again, it's one of those things we know is up there. It's hard to spot because it's so big. Let's start with... Oof, goodness. See if you can see that. I'm trying and make this as close together as possible because it is quite a big constellation. All right, there we go. Oh goodness, I might have to turn that around. Put it at an angle or something. Alright, let's try that. Put it in an angle. Ooh, good luck me. Okay. Alright. So, there's a couple myths about the constellation Draco. Mostly Greek and a little bit of Egypt. So in Greece, there are a couple dragons associated with Draco. One of them is the dragon that was slayed by Athena. So, there's that. But the second dragon, I think more people would know more about, is the dragon that guarded the golden apples. That would come into play when Aphrodite, Hera, and Athena were talking about who was most beautiful. And they asked someone to judge, and someone got a golden apple. But anyways, who is that? I messed up that myth. Wow. I know they played something. I am an Egyptian pagan, so I just don't remember my school times where that myth was prominent. So please excuse me. But the golden apples dragon guardian is what we think this constellation is about. In Egypt, much more my wheelhouse. In Egypt, the Draco constellation was actually a hippo. In fact, it was a goddess hippo. Many people think it's the hippo goddess Taweret, but it very well could be a hippo variant of Isis or Osset. Goodness, it's a big constellation. Like right there. Okay. So if you remember the talk I had about the Big Dipper and how that was in Egypt, you'll remember that I said the Big Dipper as a constellation is connected to Draco because the Big Dipper represents the Bull of Heaven, a form of the god Set, who is an extremely potent and powerful god. And he couldn't be let loose to go on his own because he is so strong. He's a bull in a china shop. Like, literally. So, in order to make sure that Set did not run amok anywhere in the sky or on Earth as this constellation, they kind of chained him to a mooring post in the sky. But the mooring post was held down by the hippo goddess in the sky, the star hippo. And she held this constellation down so that Set did not cause a muck. So that is at least the ancient Egyptian understanding of the constellations. Now, again, Draco has a lot of different meanings, but dragons in general permeate all kinds of cultural symbolisms. So they can mean good luck, protection, hoarding, wealth, and abundance. So really, draw upon your own symbolism when it comes to this particular constellation. It's a big one. It goes up here. Am I still on camera-ish? It's a little higher. Boop, boop, and then one more. Top. Oh, that's a good. I have like 3 crystals left. So yeah, Draco's quite potent. Very big. And can be used for protection, abundance, fortune, things like that, and luck. Let's rehash a little bit how to use a constellation in your magical practice. Well, you can use it as a crystal grid, just like I did here. You could engrave it on candles. Color candle depends on the intention or focus you want. You could engrave it or paint it on tools for the added benefits of that particular constellation. You could use it in sigils. You can even draw it out with herbs or powders that you can then burn. So there's a bunch of different ways to use it. Now, because the constellations seem to have relationships to other constellations in the sky, the Draco constellation could work in a contentious way with certain other constellations or in a restrictive way. So like, we know in mythology, Hercules slayed big beasties and things like that. So putting the Draco constellation next to the Hercules constellation in tandem may add a little bit of chaos to the mix or a little conflict with the energies. We also know that in ancient Egypt, the Draco constellation was connected to and restricted the Big Dipper. So if you're trying to work with the energy of Ursa Major, but you want to restrict it, adding Draco to that mix could restrict that power or focus it or keep it from running amok. So there's a lot of different ways to interpret constellations. Well, there's your constellation, Draco. Again, it was quite large, so I had to use whatever available space I had. In fact, it's one of the largest constellations, I think, from my perspective. There's only a few different ones that are even bigger. So, I hope you enjoyed little rehashing about star magic, enjoyed learning a little bit about Draco and ways you can incorporate the constellation into your practice. Again, check out the book, see how you like it. I'm very sorry for messing up the golden apple myth, but, we try to make this a fun activity. So, have a good night. And remember, like and subscribe.